everybody and welcome back. Hope you guys all had a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas to you, Merry Hanukkah to you, Merry whatever you celebrate. I hope you guys all had a very good one. Kim and I and the dogs all had a very, very Merry Christmas. And thanks so very many of you for wishing us a Merry Christmas. So as many of you guys might know, we had some very terrible weather in the US, or at least a good portion of the US last week, with temperatures I think here in St. Louis at -8. But I think we had a -45-degree wind chill. The most dangerous cold I think I've ever been in. Now I know you guys in the northern states might laugh at that, but hey, that's still pretty cold. You still wouldn't want to be out in it either. It got cold enough that my grandfather's pond froze over, and it's been since I was a child since that's happened. And of course I've had a bit of a mad scramble last week to get tape and plastic on my windows. Like this one here. And for anybody wondering why there were so many staples and all the woodwork on all the windows from videos past, this is exactly the same reason, but I use tape. Because I'm not putting more staples in the woodwork. I've already done way too much staple pulling to go back on that. So I did about 4 or 5 windows in the house, hoping to keep some of the cold air from coming in. Nothing like a really cold storm to let you know how badly your house leaks air. But we were maintaining at I think about 40, 42 degrees in here. So, you know, we survived, we're all right. Had a few extra heaters in the 2 rooms that counted, and so that was fine. And I hope you guys all had an okay time if you guys are living in the area that was affected by those winter storms. If you are living in Buffalo particularly, my heart goes out to you guys. It's awful what happened up there. And somehow today it was 60 degrees outside, so it's nice and warm again. Gotta love that Midwestern weather. It's really all over the place at all times. But enough about last week's event. Let's get into what I'm doing this week. See you guys on the other side. So for anyone wondering, this is what's behind the beadboard. It's stone, like everything is stone. So limestone foundation, typical stuff in these old houses. Of course, our entire foundation is made out of these same stones, although they are larger blocks towards the front, you know, where it's fancier. And essentially how these things were hung is they were taking these boards here, running them parallel, horizontal to the beams here, and in the middle and at the bottom, and then basically they just nailed the beadboard into it. So I'm gonna have to do something very similar. In fact, if you see right here, this actually isn't stone, this is wood, this is what it was nailed into. So I'm gonna have to put some new pieces of wood inside the mortar when I tuck point this. And that will allow me to go ahead and get a good board pretty well secured across here, so I can go ahead and tack on my beadboard. And here is the major reason why I had to come down. This is all rot. So a lot of these boards were short. I was showing you guys last week. It just didn't seem like it was terribly structurally sound. Not that they were gonna fall off the wall or anything, but it's a lot harder to cover these up, and then there's nowhere for the baseboard to screw into. Because again, these baseboards here are stone. I believe they're granite. And so they have 2 screw holes on either side of them, and that's what holds them in. This being so chopped up, there's nothing to screw into. That and this beadboard, while it's messed up down here, is actually really nice the rest of the way through. It's pretty good. And because it's nice, it's old beadboard, it's, you know, from the teens, 20s, and has very tight grain patterns, unlike the modern stuff I can get, I figured, why don't I go and use this in the bathroom upstairs and go ahead and put the same stuff that I use in the bathroom down here. It'll make this process a lot faster, it will go a lot quicker, and then I have the old school beadboard to use for the areas that matter more. Especially since I'm painting this. You see how wide the grain pattern is here. And on the original stuff, you have very tight grain patterns, which is more commonly seen back in the day. So this is way more of a paint quality board. So that's kind of my plan, and it should actually make this basement go a lot quicker. And the one last added benefit of doing this is behind this, because you can see there's a gap back here. Behind this, I could actually add some type of insulation. I'm thinking either a foam board or some rock wool. These walls are pretty far underground. I think about right here. Well, I guess it's gotta be lower, about here-ish is underground. And so from here down is actually really, really well insulated because, there's a lot of dirt behind it. But here above, it does leak a little. It doesn't leak air, but it is a bit colder. So throwing a little bit of insulation on this, I don't think would hurt. So I'm gonna do some very, very sloppy tuck pointing here, shove a few bits of wood in here, shove a few bits of wood at the top, and then I can secure the new beadboard down. It should go much faster, and I think it'll look just fine. And yes, while that beadboard that I plan on putting up will not match the original that was there before, the original doesn't match itself because there are actually two different types of beadboard in here. We have this one with a center bead, so this is one single piece here, and this is one single piece here with a single bead on the edge. So it'll actually mimic this look, not this look. And of course, this is a change I don't think Dr. Ginneman would be losing his sleep over, so I think we'll be all right. So let's get into the next set of time lapses, and I'll see you guys on the other side. So doors, doors, doors. I've got all three of the front, so the panel that faces out, obviously, done. Almost anyways. There's still little bits of white paint and little bits of sanding and stuff I still have to do to make these perfect, but the big bulk of this stuff is off. You can maybe see a bit more of the white paint on this one here. I did all of these because Kim was actually at her mom's this week, visiting for the holidays, and it means I had free reign to use the heat gun. Kim really does not like the smell of heated up paint. I don't blame her, it doesn't smell particularly good, but that gave me a good opportunity because she was away this week to go ahead and get the doors done, so that's why I worked on those mostly. I think overall they're looking pretty good. I do find it a bit funny, and you can definitely tell these are more paint grade woodwork here, because usually you wouldn't have the heart and the sapwood. So this is the heartwood, so the tougher stuff here, darker color obviously, or darker color. This is in the center of the tree. This is the sapwood, so it's the exterior of the tree. It's almost always lighter. So we have a lot of panels that have both on them. So you can see there too, double colors. And then like on this door where this entire thing here is heartwood, but then all the panels and stuff are a bit lighter. This one has this panel here actually has a complete, pretty clean split there. So a lot of color variation. Of course, none of this is going to look perfect. But then again, it was really never meant to be perfect. It was just made to be, well, paint quality woodwork. But I think at the end of the day, I think they're gonna look really beautiful when they've all shellacked up and waxed up. They're gonna be looking really nice. I do have a bit of exciting news about something that isn't maybe the most exciting project, but today I did receive a bunch of pipe and all the materials to go ahead and fix the sewer lateral. Me and my buddy Matt from hockey are going to be doing that hopefully tomorrow. That is the plan. So hopefully I'm up bright and early, digging a trench in my backyard, which is something you guys are gonna see next week. I don't wanna make any promises because it seems like every time I say something is going to happen, it doesn't. So fingers crossed that's something we can have behind us, a very large, expensive project, digging up the yard, laying down the last bit of pipe in this house that was here when I got here. That would be every single bit of the plumbing system in the entire house, including the line in and the lines out, new. Which means I should have quite a few more years before I ever have to dig anything up again, which I'm very, very happy about, and I'll be glad to get behind us. So it won't be the most glamorous project, but it's certainly a necessary one. And I cannot wait to not ever have to worry about how hard it rains because my sewer will come back into my house. That will be such a relief. And for those who've been supporting me over on the GoFundMe, I want to say thank you guys so very much. I've already given 10,000 of that money over to my carpenter Eric and Claire. Also because I am using the amazing daughter-father duo that is Eric and Claire. They're doing their own house. So for your guys' money, you're kind of double dipping because their project's amazing. So not only is it going to save my historic house, but theirs as well. And of course, they're just as crazy as me. They want to do everything very accurately. So it'll be exciting to see what that place turns into. Now, while we're not going to really be able to approach anything by spring, I didn't want to have it in my account. I wanted to make that commitment to you guys that every cent you guys give me is directly for the Mansard roof. It won't go to any other project here. It's directly for that element. And I do think I'm gonna write everybody who donates name on the inside of the Mansard roof. So the next person that comes along in 100 years and discovers all you guys' names is gonna know how awesome you guys are and how amazing it was that this house was saved by a community. Because I might be putting in the work here, but you guys watching me, you guys supporting me, you guys doing this, you're saving this place. And I really can't wait to where we're at the point where I can just do tours all day long and just share this with all of you all of the time. In person, of course, in person. It's been an absolute privilege doing this entire project along with you guys. I think it's amazing that friendships have formed from my channel, that people have met each other and talk, and it's become a really positive place for people who just enjoy history. And little alone how much you guys have changed my entire world. You know, I didn't bank on this YouTube thing working or even being a thing at all. I never thought about the idea of even starting one. But I decided I would give it a shot. And you guys have made it very worthwhile for me to be here. And not because of the income or anything like that, but just because of the relationships I've made and the people I've met and the amazing stories you guys have sent me. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. So here's to a new year to you all. Thank you guys always so very much for being here. And we'll see you guys again in 2023. Take care. Bye-bye.